This really can be fun when it happens for a restart, and as we are restarting, we are also back on air for the stream. That's lovely.
Did you
But
restart your stream?
yeah, yeah, we did.
Oh,
So you have to
okay.
include your audio once again. I know it's being a pain.
Which
Uh,
one?
Twitch can be. I know it can be. But yeah, just talk for a second. Oh, and let's see, audio included.
What's happening, man?
It's a bit better. Okay, it's not gonna be perfect. We're not gonna keep restarting every time then, but nothing's ever perfect. That's okay though. I am going to rejoin the session because I lagged out once again. But for those of you who are tuning in the first time, let's talk about the things that you, since you guys are now all here, 12 of you watching the tier 2 event for tonight as of right now. So just to fill you all in, it is a 4-way constructors fight. We've got Ferrari leading by 14 points over Mercedes, Red Bull third, McLaren fourth. As you said, Owen, it's basically a 2-way fight, but mathematically a 4-way fight, excuse me. Realistically a 2-way fight, mathematically a 4-way fight. And I want to say it was Red Bull who won the championship for the constructors last season in Vegas when it was a 3-way fight, but if it weren't for your help, Mercedes would have never been in it in the first place, though. Talk to me about that, and talk to me about the race last season at Japan that you won on a last lap pass.
Um, yes, I was driving, and I drove past another car, and I took the. I don't really know how to describe it. I just fucking drive it. Uh, I
You're a
love
driver.
Japan, so I'm usually quite good around there anyway. I basically just saved every inch of ERS to get the overtake done, and that's basically all you
That's
have
what you
to
need
do
to do,
right
though.
there. Just make sure you don't waste it all too early, and save it all, because it's really hard to overtake unless you have the ERS advantage. So you need to conserve it, keep it lovely.
Well, I mean, we've seen some surprises happen at the circuit before. I mean, we had a Alpine win in Tier 1 just 2 seasons ago. We had last season an Alfa Romeo on the podium. Minico was contending for the win here in Formula Endurance. You know quite a bit, Owen, in terms of, well, I guess surprises around the circuit. You've won with 3 different teams here.
I have.
Ferrari in Season 1,
Oh
Tier 1.
yes.
Red Bull in Tier 2. Mercedes in Tier 2.
Lovely. Yeah, it's probably the track I won most at, so I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the first sector is just unreal. I love it. And then the rest of the corners are a bit tricky. I remember in 2019 when I was in the Ferrari and I won, there was a bit of a glitch with the last sector. There was a massive bump, but if you used traction control like I was at the time, because that was amazing, you get a big speed boost. So that's how it's probably helped contribute to that win. But I'll consider it all skill.
Yeah, definitely. It should be
Did,
interesting to
did you
find
ask
out
me
what
a
happens for
question?
these drivers.
I did. I was checking the lobby settings for pandas. I don't know if you took the question there as well, or you're just telling me to explain.
Well, it was just to explain, but also you could say it was a question too. I also think the interesting thing about your wins though is that you were always in contention with somebody late in the race. You had the last lap collision with you in Portley Boot in season 1. You had in season 9 my first race commentating here just 3 seasons ago in tier 2, a battle between you and Bonky, and also you had to overtake a few cars and come from the back of the grid after the safety car screwed you the first time. You had to come through the field once again, twice technically, because of the last safety car as well,
Mm.
from some people staying out, some people pitting, and you ended up winning that. And then you were racing back and forth with Bonkers, and it was not just an all-out dominant win from you. It was always someone right with you in those races. So that's what I think is fun about the circuit in terms of I guess, what the expectations are. Sometimes people are really good at the circuit on wheel, but it doesn't always translate to the race, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. The wheel is obviously more advantageous because of the high speed, flowing corners in the first sector, but then obviously you got the hairpin, which would be probably better for the controller, and I'd say the first sector is very wheel dominant, and then the rest pretty even. Um, but yeah, me and Bonky were fighting for those wins, and both my Tier 2 Japan wins. We both use wheels, so maybe that's fine. I don't know what J&T uses. Does he use a pad or wheel? I don't know.
He uses wheel.
Okay, then I expect him to be pretty good. And I heard Hunted before the lobby stating that J&T's time trial right here is insane. So
It apparently is.
we have
I've seen it as well. He was complaining prior to this about not feeling fast, but he's completely the opposite. He's quite faster on the circuit, and the pace has pretty much shown itself. Either way, for those of you not aware of some things that have happened during the week, let's talk about it. We saw some of the F124 footage, and it doesn't look great. Jack reiterated to the RPL members that if we were to try and start the next game, it were to be the way it is with the current handling, basically broken, we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to do the waiting game. That's the way it's going to be, which is quite fair. And if that's the case with the way things are, there's a lot of people who might not buy next game. Valkyrie, she's one of the drivers who are in tonight's event, apparently thinking of not buying F124. And if that's the case, there's a lot of other people who may end up joining her with their last hurrah this weekend. With that being said, we may not even need a Tier 3. We spoke about starting a Tier 3 for next season last week and merging with Eggs League because of that. That's why we're starting a Tier 3. That'll be explained in depth one of these weeks in a video. But yeah, we may not even need it if that's the case. Another thing as well is the first track for the brand new seasons in RPL, Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 will all be at the same track next season to start the opening round. And the most recent signing for next season, I'm pretty sure, is Bino in that McLaren for Tier 2 next game. As we mentioned, we got a 4-way constructors fight, but let's talk about some of our loans, some of our drivers reserving tonight in higher cars than usual. We've got Make PK in the Aston Martin, as you may have known last week. Oh, and you weren't here, so I'm going to reiterate it for you. Mintoki in the Mercedes for the remainder of the season to help boost Mercedes' chance for the constructors title. We've also got SV on loan to AlphaTauri, I believe, for tonight's event. Blue Goggy on loan to Red Bull. FBL in the Alfa Romeo reserving. SSR William reserving. He's in the Red Bull. Red Fire Tiger, although he's back in the AlphaTauri, he was in the Red Bull in recent races. That's him around in the background there. No, that's SV. As for Red Fire, he's in a battle for P6 in the championship. And the only other change that we're aware of is still JG in the Ferrari for tonight's event. And he was in it last week. He's in it for the last 2 races to help boost their chance at the Constructors' Championship. And Eoin, before we start a lap, we really could argue at Ferrari's case if it weren't for Martin, aka Zatsi, deciding to not get out of his contract when changing academies when going to the Ferrari Academy. This would have probably been a Constructors' Championship wrapped up by now.
Yes, very silly decision. But anyway, they need to focus on this race and not focus on the F-Buts or maybe as LG's had a pretty mediocre first corner, but the rest of them pretty good air. Look at these, the curb. You can use that curb, but you don't want to rely on it too much. You can be very slippy. And then flat through the exit of the S is absolutely marvellous. And then through the Degners, 31-1 first sector. We'll compare that to the rest. That's pretty good. 2 Degners, they're pretty smooth actually. And then to the braking zone of the hairpin. Very early apex. Which is an interesting bridge. A lot of drivers you see taking different bridges at that corner. And DLG opted for that method of approach. It's the spoon curve. beautiful. Again, just you need to have complete faith in your machinery that you will not be, losing the rear end at all. You need to just chuck the car in, and through the second sector he goes 10.3. I can tell you in the first sector he's a tenth up with his teammate, and into the final chicane.
Casio Triangle, quite a famous corner in terms of
as much as possible.
side of this race. Cross the line. 26.8 is our benchmark. Who else do we have coming across the line? Who else do we have starting a lap soon as well? We got Mintoki starting a lap. We'll go on board with JNT first to see what he does in comparison to the teammate, then go to Mintoki. JNT Gaming, a wheel driver, the new champion of RPL Tier 2.
He's really far
again, like I said last week, finally risen to the occasion. He's finally done something that has paid off to the way it has. 9 consecutive podiums ended last week. Second fastest. Mintoki's now coming through the S section. Eoin, and this is the car you drove in this race last season. What should she know about this Mercedes when doing this lap?
Well, I can't really remember much about the car, to be fair, but I know for a fact that it's not got a straight line speed, so it should be good around here because you won't be maxing out. The Mercedes maxes out at 351 kilometers per hour. So Las Vegas and Monza's are some of the worst tracks of that car because you just get absolutely destroyed when everyone reaches the top speed, because you're like 5-10 kph slower than everyone else. But it's quite a nice car if you get the setup right. The women's car just flew through that corner. Barely looked like she had any issues. It can be a very nice, stable car if you get the setup correct. And Cody Matuki's got a pretty nice setup on that. 10.5, that is quicker than what JNT was showing. You can just split the Ferraris into the final Casio Triangle, even though there's no Casio sponsoring anymore, unfortunately. I don't know why it's called Casio Triangle. Probably sponsorship of things.
Second.
You'll split them.
Nice.
Hunted is going to come across the line. What's he going to do? He's going to start
No wins this season, by the way. Just want to mention that. No wins this season so far. He's been close so many times.
Hunted,
you have
no
Canada,
wins.
you have China. Hunted, no wins. Sounds like Lando, no wins. But as for Hunted, though, he does have the championship from 2 seasons prior. And he's not won since that final race in Brazil, Eoin. It's been quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you had a very disappointing title defense season. And then this season's been lackluster. Well, it's been okay, just not been there enough.
Not stand out. That's the way I see
It's
it.
been okay. He's gone purple sector 1, apparently. I don't know if I believe
How
that.
true is that?
I'll check. Is it 31-2? No, it is not purple. It's probably
Well,
like
that's a
third
lie.
best. Like third or fourth best.
That's a lie from the game. Yeah.
Mintoki and Dilji have both got 31-1s in the first sector.
Spoon curve, by the way, now for Hunted.
You can see his steering on the wheel can be a bit wobbly at times, so not as smooth for Spoon as what Mintoki took out. Mintoki basically did it in like one smooth steering animation. 10.4, that is half a tenth, I believe, up on what Mintoki was at this stage, so he just needs to get the final chicane correct. That's brilliant.
Oh.
That was absolutely
Cross the line
fantastic. He's
Third.
clearly just lost a bit of time in the last sector. Check.
Red Fire Tiger on a lap. We've got the Mercedes in the final sector, who he might get caught out by. I think he's going to be okay. Yeah, he will be. Red Fire Tiger trying to battle for P6 in the Constructors' Championship. Could be very big for him. Been back and forth between Red Bull and AlphaTauri this season. 8th place. JTK, Blue Goggy, they're the next ones to start a lap, and this is big for these guys. Why is it big for JTK? Well, he is the 12th different vice champion now, Eoin, but he's also fighting for the Mercedes Constructors' Championship. Blue Goggy, it's the first time he's been on a top 6 car, and he also needs a lot of help in order to win the Constructors' Championship tonight for Red Bull. Which driver do you want to go on board with, JTK or Blue Goggy?
I don't know about Blue Goggy because I'm very intrigued on why he's been selected for the Red Bull.
We'll find out. I mean, he's never had a chance in a top 6 car. I'm going to take it through the first few corners of the S's. Turn 1, turn 2, you want to send it through here. 4th gear, yeah, it is. He's shifting up quite quick. Don't ride too much of the curbs here or else you go spinning. Seen a lot of drivers take it a little bit too... I don't want to say too flat out, but too much, I would say, into these sections a lot. and it ends up really screwing them over. It was a bit wide, but now we get to Sector 2 and the two Degnas. This is where things get interesting for the drivers.
Yeah, very easy for the second Degna to get too much curb on the exit. Bottom out on it.
Cyberfan did it flat out once.
He did. First one. You could probably still flat out if you have massive balls, but...
And if you have 50-50 wings.
True.
But I don't think you want that in a Red Bull, or at this track right now.
Gogi is 10th slower than Dill JG in the first sector.
Not bad though.
You can see where the improvement can be made. You know, a few just wide moments, a few missed apexes, but so he just ties it together. It could be a better lap into the second sector split. 10.5. It's very mediocre. ACK goes 36 milliseconds off provisional pole time. And Blue Goggith should be around Hunted Mintuki area.
Let's find out. Cross the line now. What will his first lap be in a Red Bull? 5th fastest. 6/10 faster than the teammate. Well, Mythic, is that him completing a lap? No, he just did. He did complete a lap. That's a 12th fastest for Mythic. We got Dill JG starting a lap. Our current pole sitter. We're going to keep our attention to the top 8 guys now, who are all 4 different teams, and this could be very big tonight for those 4 teams. Who on a lap? J&T?
J&T's on a lap.
Yes, he is. Dill JG's backed off and come back into the pits, so we're going to go with J&T Gaming then. We got 130R. Quite the famous corner. We saw a lot of overtakes here in the last 2 Tier 1 races. Not as much in Tier 2. 4/10 now. This is just right off the edge of pole position. A bit of traffic though. That's 2 cars both coming in. Across the line, J&T Gaming comes, and he will go 3rd fastest. So it was a mistake there at the triangle. Owen, did you catch that?
It just looked just a bit poor. He went 2 taps slower. He did 16.6. He just, it looks like he went too deep into the first one. Couldn't get a rotation into the second part of the chicane. Rode too much of the curb as well, I think. Just bombed out the car a little bit. Just a bit sluggish. But
yeah,
he'll know where he can get in that time, and he'll take confidence in the lap.
SSR William is up by 17 thousandths. If you're Blue Goggy, Owen, are you happy that you're ahead of William, or are you still going to look for more? Of course you're going to look for more. You're a driver. You made mistakes. You know where you can gain, but are you at least happy you're ahead of your teammate, though, in comparison? Because he's the full-time Red Bull driver for next season. Blue Goggy is not.
I'm usually just happy if I beat my teammate, to be fair. If I think they're going to be a threat, and if I'm quicker than them, okay, we're good. But, I mean, last year's season, I don't think they should be caring about their issues with teammates as he backed off and made a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! A Ferrari.
J&T.
That is J&T. Spin. I have a little bit of a spin.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Goggy and William need to just, work together here, because they could. A very, very slim chance, but they could win the Constructors' Championship. Very unlikely,
a lot
but...
to go right.
Yeah, there's a lot to go wrong for others and a lot to go right for them. Luke Goggy needs to finish P1 or P2, physically. Which, I don't know if that could happen. Because I think he might end up getting a bit roguish and causing a collision, but hopefully he doesn't, because clearly he's showing he's got decent speed.
Best opportunity he's had, though, which is the best thing. That he can be able to prove himself now in a top 6 car for the first time. Teams can show whether or not they trust him in the future or not. Mintoki had a little snap there coming out of the second Degna, a 10th down in her lap. And she's one who's had a really great season up until last week. It seems like it was that way for J&T and Mintoki. J&T kept up the point streak. Mintoki did not, Owen. And Mintoki obviously feeling a little bit heartbroken last week, not finishing the points. Feeling like she costed her team a chance at this Constructors' Championship.
Well, she'll make up for them by putting in a good performance this weekend. The 2 main competitors in the Constructors' Championship are P2, or the top 2 teams, Ooh. P1, 2, 3, 4. At the moment, anyway. And she's gone. I don't know. I didn't see the sector split there. Sector 2 was
20 thousandths down.
Okay, so
she's got a lot of time to get in the lap, but she's going to come back in to maybe go for the extra lap later on. Yeah, Kipu's a 10th up. William is 3/10 down. I'm not sure which one of those guys are on laps. William is not using battery. Kipu is. We'll go with Kipu since none of the top 7 guys are on track. Yeah, Owen, with her lap, she made a mistake out of Degna 2 lost time and was already a 10th down, but still recovered the lap to be 20 thousandths off. So she really could be going for pole position tonight if that's the case then, with the amount of time to improve in the lap. As long as she puts it together completely, then she really can put together a miraculous lap. Make PK just went 9th fastest.
It'll be nice to see Mintsugi get in the front row in her home continent of Asia.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, Korea and Japan have a very interesting history with each other. The Korean Peninsula, of course, being a part of the Japanese Empire several, 100-odd years ago.
Kippu backs off. I don't know why he backed off at that lap. Maybe a mistake. Maybe he wasn't happy with it. Make PK as well was strangely in the runoff. You spoke about strange right there. And this is going to really suck for both Alpines because Valkyrie and Kippu, who both are in the garage, come in at similar times, and this is really going to put a stomp to them trying to get back out there because they have to really race each other to get back out there in terms of maybe getting 2 laps in. They're only going to get 1 lap in at this rate together. J&T Gaming hunted on track. Let's take the time to talk about previous pole times around the circuit. We're currently at a 26.8. Well, our previous pole times here in tiers such as Tier 2, FE, F1. Let's go over them. Tier 2 in Season 9, 27.9. It was not really a great lap at all from Depth Knights, but it was Aston Martin's only pole position in Tier 2. You have last season as well. What? What'd you say?
27.9, that's absolutely stunning.
That is awful. That is awful. You have a 26.8 set in this race last season. Season 1 Formula Endurance had a 26.4. That was one-shot qualifying, interestingly enough. Season 9 F1 with, I believe it was Cryptic on pole, had a 26.8. And Cookie had a 26.5, a lap that could have been much better. They always say that as drivers. Oh, it could have been much better. You know? I think that really, though, was the question with Cookie. Could it have been much better? I would say yeah, because he was 4/10 down in the first sector and still improved in the second and third sector to snab pole position over Reese Dainty and Skither at the last moment there. Drivers always say that. It's annoying, but it's very true with Cookie's sake because he was so much down. It's not like he was marginally down. But J&T Gaming and Hunted, which one do you want to go on board with for our final flying lap here, Owen? Which one looks more intriguing to you?
Well, J&T is more important for this constructors battle, so although Hunted is my beloved, he's backed off anyway, so J&T we're going on board with. And he's gone very wide there for turn 2. I don't know why he's cooking there, but he's got 2 minutes to get back off and go again, but he's firmed it now. Taking no... Oh, and he's out!
He went wide and he almost hit the Mercedes! He'll have to go again! Oh my gosh.
What does it do one of those heroic crashes?
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. I thought he was going to hit the back of the Mercedes. Was that Mintoki or JTK? I think that was... Yeah. Wow. Tadpole is on a lap now. And this will be it from the McLaren driver. Likely going to get in 1 lap here unless a mistake like that happens. Coming through the S's, he's riding the curbs right on the limit here. And he's sliding around! Oh my god, that's a 3rd mistake. We're switching to Dill JG now. Trying to defend pole position. He sees the other car in the runoff and he goes off too! That's the 4th car with a mistake here.
Dill JG.
Yes, off. And he will have to race against the checkered flag here. SSR William up by a 10th.
They poured oil on that part of the track or something. What's the crap with that?
Oh my god. SSR William, you spoke about Mintoki in terms of the Korean area of the continent and the world. Well, how about the Japan, Asia, anime area of the world? Something William has quite the liking of. We'll find out if this, one of his favorite circuits because of that, can go faster and get himself a redemption race after his... Yeah, he likes anime. After his first start in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, this track really associates with it, I think. 3/10 up, though. And it was Abu Dhabi the last time that he made a start in RPL, and it was a heartbreaking DNF from a podium place. This time he's going to qualify still in 8th place, improving the time just marginally. Tadpole will get to the line, I think, just barely. Yes, he will, but everyone
Silly goose.
is racing against time. Dill JG cannot defend pole. JNT down by 71 thousandths, and JTK down by a hundredth. Now it's
Hunted is
Mintoki on the
invalidated.
lap. Hunted, invalidated, and Blue Goggy will be the first one of our competitive drivers going for pole position to try to get to the checker flag. He's up by a tenth and a half.
Good last sector, he could be a pole.
I think that's where he lost some of the time. Oh, and the last time he came through here, Blue Goggy getting the opportunity of his life on the revenge arc here. Checker flag is out. Valkyrie, SV, they cross the line. Next is Blue Goggy. Blue Goggy goes up to third place. How about that? From the Malta driver. JNT Gaming, a 10th up.
JNT's run out of
But
fuel.
he is out of fuel. You're right. He really messed up on fuel and will only be fourth fastest. JTK is up, and it's trying to go for a second pole position of the season. This will be the perfect time to do it for Mercedes. Coming across the line now. JTK, the Dutchman, is going to go pole position. Mintoki is still 2 tenths up, and she's looking at a Mercedes front row lockout. Remember, Hunted invalidated. Tadpole is also up next. Mintoki goes third. Tadpole invalidated too. William couldn't go for another one. Make PK's 9th, and Kibu is down by a 10th. It's going to be JTK for a second pole position of the season, and at Mercedes is perfect time.
Oh, Mintoki just made. She lost a tenth in the last sector. She didn't do that with a front row for Mercedes. That's really upsetting. Still, JG, obviously, we don't know what he could have done because he crashed on his second run.
You're exactly right. It was just so slippery and so mistake prone from those drivers trying to cross the line and figure out what they can do for laps. But this is such a competitive grid. Look at that top 6.
We struck the banana peel in that part of the track.
I still wonder that as well. Chaos, the fake TB, says in Twitch chat, give us your predictions for the Grand Prix, which we're about to go into. But it is a Mercedes 1-3. They need it desperately. And if they ended up that way, compared to Ferrari, you may as well give them the Constructors' Championship to be 40 versus 18. That would be enough. They're 14 points back, Mercedes. So now it's time for the race, but let's go over qualifying and the order, the top 10. JTK, Dill JG, Mintoki. That's all personal best starts right there. Blue Goggy, 4th. Another personal best start. JNT Gaming, the champion, down in 5th. McLaren as well, who need maximum points. They're 6th and 7th. Not what they needed. And then it's SSR William for Red Bull. A disappointing qualifying. Make PK. Kipu running up the top 10. Kipu saw a 4th place finish here in FE. In the one race we did here at Japan. Maybe could replicate that if we get a crazy race once again. Here's the strategy for tonight's event that we'll be looking out for. You gain back a total of 26% in the pit lane for ERS. That is absolutely massive. Pit stop loss, 21.5 seconds. Expect the drivers to either go to hard softs, soft hard, same strategy. Medium hard, hard medium, same strategy, just reverted. And then soft medium is a possibility if you're Red Bull. And you did it last season, Eoin. But I wouldn't count on many others doing it as well. I just hope they stay behaved there heading into the S's because they're going to have to get single file. And if they don't, it's going to cost them a lot of time to get to the front on lap 1.
Yeah, if you're using soft mediums, you just have to caress the tires and not use too much of them. But obviously at the same time, you want to make advantage of the soft component tire because there's no point in running it if you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
Some people will just run medium hard and they can just push flat out the whole race. So the
JNT
drivers
medium
on
hard.
the softs. Yeah, the 2 Mercs seem to be on the softs at the moment. Unless they're going to change it to the only 2 apart from Wavy on the softs. No, I
By
wonder.
the way, don't expect any 2 stops for tonight, by the way. I really don't think that's a possibility unless there's safety cars to benefit with it. 25 seconds till lights out. Oh, and we've got the run to turn 1. We've seen crazy things happen here in real life. Charles Leclerc versus Verstappen. Prost versus Senna. Right now on the front row, it's still JG versus JTK.
I think Toki's just chucked on the mediums, so the 2 Mercs are splitting the strategy.
Decisions.
Running. So, oh no, he's just chucked on the mediums as well.
Last second, too, because they got 3 seconds, and they're planning on doing that quickly? Wow.
Nobody is on the softs. Everyone's on the mediums or hards, so here we go.
For the final time in Tier 2 on F123, the 5 red lights are coming on, and it's a constructors battle we'll watch for closely as the lights go out, and away we go! JTK, better start, but the second phase was horrible! 3 wide, and he's gonna be pinched there! Mintoki goes off, comes back on contact! Still JTK, side by side, and it's a disaster for Mercedes and Blue Goggy! Cars going off, Kipu, FPL in trouble! Mintoki to the back of the field, and JTK, the second place man, is lagged out. It's an absolute stinker for Mercedes, who had the track position, but now it's all gone.
I was spent JTK and invite back. That was horrific luck. McMoran are taking full advantage.
Couldn't really gain many spots. You're exactly right. McLaren up to 2nd and 4th now with Hunted and Tadpole now going through for 3rd. J&T Gaming through. SSR William trying to come through. And whatever happened with that turn 1 skirmish, Blue Goggy got involved. But now he's going to have to do a comeback drive here at the back of the grid. Make PK, Red Fire Tiger, SV. Those guys, what a start. Tadpole 2, Hunted, 4 places. Wavy Knife, 4 places. We know the big losers from that, though. Blue Goggy, JTK, Mintoki, Kipu, and now at 130R, J&T Gaming goes through!
Oh, can't believe what I just said.
That happens so many times here, with drivers trying to attempt to move at 130R, and it just never works most times. Blue Goggy through on SV and Valkyrie, who made contact. That was just like through goes Hamilton, and now they're about to go 3 wide down the main straight here, and they've got to figure this out or else they're going to crash.
Oh, no.
J&T Gaming battling Hunted for 2nd place, and it was almost contact, but now Valkyrie and Wavy, it's side by side here to turn 2. They remain wheel to wheel now into turn 3 of the S's, but it's going to be contact, and it's still contact. RG, they now go back to single file, and they've got to figure it out.
He almost spun and swiped the Mitsuki. Was very close to being disastrous. Oh, that's the Avis. He's gone off. Oh, he's got back on his hits. Mitsuki, and he's off the seconds.
Oh, SV trouble for him and AlphaTauri. He's supposed to be in Tier 3 next season, but to end off Tier 2 and the start of his RPL career, to end off the season, it's not been great here tonight. So much to focus on so far in this race. JTK just joined back the session, and Blue Goggy, I want to give him a lot of props. Not using a lot of that overtake. He's right behind JTK. These two will have to do the recovery drive. A lot of people in chat giving their approval of who they're rooting for, whether it's Ferrari, Mercedes. We have lots of teams in this constructors fight. Mintoki is now making the move on Team Principal AV Knife to get through. That's 11th place for her, but Eoin, Mercedes need a lot to go their way, and right now it's all going Ferrari's way.
You're off them on the first lap. Mintoki getting pushed off at the first corners, and then JTK's internet just capitulating. I generally don't think you could get a worse lap on unless both cars, got blown up. But at least they're still in the race. There's still a long time to go. Could be a safety car, could be anything. But are we going to see some interesting games at play here with Red Fire Tiger, who's in the sister team to Goggy's Red Bull?
This is true because Red Fire Tiger is just off DRS right up there. And what's happened? Hunted's made a mistake. And he's picked up a bit of gravel and almost right in the path of Make PK. Hunted is losing time and he's losing places. He's down to P6.
Please be lag.
And
oh my God,
JTK!
Oh, please.
That was lag, holy cow.
Lag.
Wow, that scared me. I thought we were going to see the end of someone's race right there, and it's really affecting Blue Goggy now. He had to back off a bit too, and he's now put Mintoki into DRS. While that happened on the main straight, the two females, though, they were the ones swapping on the main straight. 10th and 11th place.
Both Mercedes drivers losing 7 positions at the moment. GTK surely will be getting past that AlphaTauri shortly, but if they get stuck in this little DRS train behind J&T, that will be very suboptimal because they'll JT will just go and win the race and secure the Constructors' Championship. So
JTK F1 fan in the Twitch chat says it seems to be that he is disconnected from the start. Well, yeah, he lagged out of the session. He had to join back the session, and he had that happen from pole position right there, and an absolute horrid start. Now SSR William make it up for Red Bull's horrid start with Blue Goggy there. Blue Goggy got involved in the turn 2 troubles, so now Red Bull will rely on SSR William to make the moves, but he can't make the moves right there on Tadpole. Tadpole one of the other drivers who really won out from the start. Like I said earlier, 4 places gained. He's not the one with the most places, but I'd say quite a good start from both McLarens up until what happened with Hunted. Red Fire Tiger, though, 6 places. Wow.
JTK passed him right now. He's getting held up here. He's going to lose the DRS. He's going to move down. He's going to take the second tag there. And he's going to get caught here now by Goggy. Here we go.
Blue Goggy, JTK. Here we go with the hairpin. It's going to be side by side and exiting the corner. You saw Blue Goggy have a little bit of a snap. He was wheel to wheel with JTK. I think he wanted to not hit him, and he almost did. So the rear stepped out right there. Now you got Hunted trying to overtake Make PK. We know Make PK can be a tricky one to overtake here. We saw that in prior seasons, but he did a better job in defending in Abu Dhabi for the sake of the constructors and the drivers, and that is why we're in the position we're at now. Make PK defending the inside line here at 130R, and he's doing his wonders here for Mercedes to try and catch back up. Remember, his brother is in that Mercedes Academy with him. You got SSR William going down the inside here of Tadpole. Tadpole freaked out a little bit from that and gone a bit wide, and now Tadpole wanting to get his elbows out here. You have Blue Goggy and GTK in the background. You got SSR William finally getting through in the main straight, and behind that, Hunted now boosting, getting through ahead. Oh my God, 3 wide. Blue Goggy through, JTK through, but will Red Fire Tiger be able to snatch back the place? The answer is no, but Eoin, crucially, Hunted the first one in the top 10 in the penalty club. Mythic is around. Or that's Kipu. No, that's Wavy.
Oh, nice one, Wavy. That's actually some Wavy spinning. Also, yeah, getting a penalty, not surprised. He loves picking up penalties. And, interesting, JTK obviously just got overtaken by Goggeth in the Red Bull. And SR William and Tadpole's skirmishes allowed the 2 Ferraris to pull away. So it looks at the moment in these opening stints, the Ferrari are the team to beat.
Remember, there's still a battle in the Drivers' Championship for 3rd place between Tadpole, Hunted, and Toki, excuse me. I almost said JTK. JTK actually has claimed 2nd place already with the result last week in the Drivers' Championship. So quite a lot of battles, whether it's for the constructors or the 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, even 6th place if you're Red Fire Tiger. But right now, it's a massive DRS train, 3rd on back here. I have to give a credit to SSR William, a poor qualifying, a better race, and Mentoki is trying to go around the outside of Red Fire Tiger, but cannot make the move. Kipu is getting overtaken by Mythic, and I think that was Wavy that caused the yellow flags further back. Mentoki and Red Fire do another swap there, and now in the main straight, Make PK is looking to make the move on Hunted, but he just can't get through.
I don't know what's going on with JTK, because he's got no pace. He's been pulled away.
This is horrible.
This is very sad.
Disastrous. It is. Wavy, 10-second, and I think this is going to be a retirement in the pit lane, and it is. Okay.
Naughty, maybe.
Well, Blue Goggy down the inside on Make PK, now trying the switcheroo, but he's starting to get a little impatient, Blue Goggy. This is not good. He wants to get by the Aston Martin driver who has lost him DRS here to the guys in front of Hunted and Tadpole. But Make PK, you can just see it being a roadblock here. Blue Goggy's going to have to try the switchback around the outside. Now maybe going to become the inside. What way will Blue Goggy go? Long way around.
It's not going to work.
Squeezed.
Oh, corner. He's off the circuit. He's coming back on it. Oh, yeah.
Don't come back in the way of JTK. Luckily, it didn't happen, but, I mean, Make PK has done a great job to catch JTK and Mentoki, both Mercedes drivers in the Academy, back up. But now, if you're Make PK, you got to go at full blast here, because now you're about to lose DRS. Here comes Blue Goggy looking for the move at Casio Triangle.
Set them up for the straight. Here he comes with the superior engine, superior ERS, and the DRS should be an easy overtake. And Make should let the Mercedes car behind him through.
I think he will soon here. Just getting out of the way now. This is a horrible place to do it, actually, but he's actually got out of the way and now going to allow them to fight it. He held up Blue Goggy for as long as he could. He got him out of DRS there of Hunted. While that happened, Tadpole overtook SSR William for 3rd place in this race. Crucial for Tadpole to have an extra place and a bit of comfort there to remain in third place in the Drivers' Championship. But McLaren need max points, and they need it now. But now, Tadpole is around! The commentator's curse!
Just locked the rears, I think. I was on board with William, and
he had to have been.
He just lost the rear end into the second deck. I don't know what he was doing. Clearly, he just made
either lock the rears, like you said, or clip the grass while doing so.
That might have been what he did, to be fair.
It's always a possibility. And Red Fire Tiger overtook under the yellow flags. He's another one in the penalty box. But I'll tell you right now, another 3-second too. Wow. I'll tell you what, though. This has created quite the battle for third place now in this race. SSR William has got pressure from Hunted, who's got pressure from Blugaki. They're moving around here as they get to the detection point and Casio Triangle. Which one will come out in front? It's going to be SSR William hanging it out for now. Hunted with a wiggle. Blugaki with a wiggle. Now down the main straight. It's a DRS train. Which one is in front at turn 1? Hunted through. Now Blugaki wants to get through on the teammate, but he just can't get the overtake done here at turn 1. He's going to have to wait a bit.
Yeah, it's insane the gap the 2 Ferraris ago now. The only thing that can bring any of the other teams back into this constructors fight is a safety car, I reckon. Or if J&T or DLG has a horrific moment they crash, like we saw with Tadpole. So yes, McLaren's slim chances pretty much out the window already because of that mistake from Tadpole.
I just want to remind you, with Wavy Knife being out of this race, if McLaren are somehow going to get maximum points, the team that they need to be outside of the points and maybe even in the lowest point spot. Oh no, JTK is lagged out again. I was just going to say, for McLaren's sake, the team you need in either 10th or 9th place at the worst is Mercedes or Red Bull. If you end up getting a car outside the points, it needs to be both Ferraris, because that's what has to happen in order for McLaren to win this constructors fight. And all that good work MakePK did for JTK, it's really coming undone because he's lagged out for a second time. He's really getting the Reese Dainty Monza treatment and the DeChiller Mexico treatment right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's quite upsetting. The internet is robbing him of an attempt to at least get the constructors championship here.
I think they really would have had a chance if it weren't for him lagging out at the start. I know Mentoki had the troubles, but at least she'd be able to claw back to the field. Almost contact there at turn 1. I know you saw that. That was right on the edge between SSR William and Hunted. Tadpole is also through on Red Fire Tiger as JTK has finally joined back the session. He's not in his car yet. He can't take control. I really hope the glitch does not appear in his way, Eoin, of when he tries to take control, it retires his car. That's happened to multiple drivers throughout this game cycle. Hopefully, when they do fix F124, that is one thing they do fix.
Let's see this. Yeah,
back in now, in control.
12 seconds off the lead on lap 9.
He's going to have to hope for a safety car. He's got no way to get back for the sake of the constructors. I know Mentoki will heavily blame it on herself for the shenanigans in China, but it's not the only thing that's really let down Mercedes this season. Joe Wilson, he's had some good results, but he's not done the standout performances like other drivers have in that car. Could that be an argument Mercedes provide? It's always the what ifs if you're a driver, but now the what ifs might be between Hunted and SSR William. Hunted has a penalty, SSR William doesn't. He makes SSR William break a little late and go a bit wide. It's closed up Blugagi and Mentoki, but now what's going to happen here as they go down the main straight with DRS applied? Hunted is through for third place, but does the Red Bull team swap with Blugagi and William? You saw Blugagi moving around, jockeying for a position and wanting to go for it, but they just didn't. I think Blugagi's faster at this rate in the race.
Similar end of what will be said, but yeah. He's
DRS for J&T, 22. Still JG, 49. There you go for Bino wondering in the chat. Sorry to cut in.
You know, look, he's going to be fuming. He's on the medium tires, and send the team McMoran on the quicker tire, and we use them.
FBL. That's the cause of yellow flags right there at the back of the field. He's just right on the back of SSR William, about to give him a bit of a bump there into the hairpin. He's not happy that he's getting caught behind his teammate here, and you could see he's had to use ERS. Williams got really no battery in the tank as well for him, so you know how Blue Goggy's feeling that he's caught behind his teammate here, and it's really not working out. I think as well, if you're in Haunted shoes, you're loving this because you can extend with the penalty. You've got, I mean, more battery than both of them combined at this rate. You're loving it, but if you're Blue Goggy, you're just not loving it.
Well, he's not going to get anywhere, Blue Goggy, to be fair, if he gets ahead of his teammate at this moment, because they're just staying in this train.
Yeah, but you're 5 seconds behind the Ferraris. At least you have the leverage. Hunted is in, though. He has the leverage of pulling off the undercut. And now, this will put SSR William in a compromised position when he doesn't have DRS next time. But Blue Goggy's going for it this time. Around the outside! He's through at turn 1.
Risky. But he's pulled it off. His teammate didn't want to fight that too much. Could have ended the tears we did. And now Mintoki's on the back of the Red Bulls.
Valkyrie in potentially her last race. She's through on Tadpole. I hate always saying that. I hate the unknown from drivers. You know, you don't know if you're going to get the next game. Well, a lot of people end up do end up getting it anyway, though. Valkyrie, she's won with quite a bit of unknowns. She's got an F2 contract, I'm pretty sure, for next game, so she'd have to back out of that, but she doesn't know if she'll get F124, so her last hurrah, everyone's last hurrah with the F123 game at least, though, and only one retirement so far, not too bad.
Only issue is that we haven't been able to have a proper fight in the Constructors' Battle because of internet connection shenanigans, which is not optimal. But let's hope something entertaining happens later in the race to bring everyone closer together.
Yeah, it should be interesting for this race because a lot's going to ramp up as the pit cycle will start to happen. Here's our race leader in. Mintoki is trying to go around the outside of SSR William, but cannot force the Red Bull driver into a mistake. So now the move is going to happen here on the main straight. Mintoki boosting, has DRS activated, goes around the outside and through before turn 1. Nice little move there. And further on behind that, Make PK has got 2 cars behind him in DRS of him. DilJG comes out, 9th place. But we'll now in 10th place, we'll have to deal with Red Fire Tiger. This could get very interesting. I love this. I love this. When an Academy car, this is why we have Academies in RPL, because if this was F1 Esports, Owen, you'd have to rely on a teammate only. Now, you're in Red Fire spot, you have 3 other cars that you have reason to fight for. SV, you don't really have a reason to fight for in this race, but in terms of the Constructors' race, though, for Red Bull, Red Fire could just hold up DilJG. He's got a 5-second penalty, he's got a 3-second time penalty as well, for a good measure. Now, if you're him, and you end up extending, pitting late, you want to gamble to have everything go in your favor, yeah, why not? Hold up the Ferrari driver. Just don't be egregious about it, though, and cause a big issue. Just do it fairly. Hunted through on Kipu.
Yes, sir, relatively easy there for it. LGG is going to be catching that record very quickly, so we'll see what's the plan here. And then you've got Mick in front of them as JT now pits. So will Mick help out his academy? He's currently doing a good job trying to defend on Valkyrie. With Will through the final chicane. A lot of space given, very nice fair racing, and it's Tadpole there diving to the bits right behind him. Interesting, he's just out on the hards, so he must be chucking on the mediums now. Well down the line straight. Mick up the DRS. He came out last out of the. He got overtaken at. Oh dear!
Oh! DilJG and Red Fire Tiger leaning on one another. DilJG through. Red Fire Tiger didn't put up too much of a fight, but he knew it was his place to lose right there eventually. SV gets a 3-second. Tadpole in as well, like you mentioned just moments ago, but he's coming out quite far behind.
I think Mintoki and JTK are just going to be going long. Hoping for a safety car to happen.
Yeah, you kind of have to if you're in their spots. Blue Goggy had the trouble on lap 1. Mintoki had the trouble on lap 1. SSR William, he'll extend, of course, because he's on those hard tires. Same with Make PK, and it's happened again. JTK having more connection problems. 5 second for SV.
Oh.
His troubles continue. Not the race he would have wanted. He gives up in the pit lane. He'll have to rely on RPL having a tier 3 in order to be competitive. He's got a McLaren spot if we do end up having a tier 3 next game like we're supposed to. Still JG getting really caught up behind Valkyrie, now going through, but will make PK be a bit of...
Oh, JTK's AI put him in the pits.
Bargain, maybe? Valkyrie, JTK, both in. So JTK, it's his AI, by the way, who pitted him. But make PK defending. Here we go. Inside line. Will he dive it? Yes, he will.
Oh,
Contact. Oh, he wanted to try and hold on there at turn 1 by absolutely sending it there.
Oh,
but it's caused JG to go off track, and now he's backing him up here. This is going to get dangerous. Whoa! He's going to try the Yuki Tsunoda down the inside, and he's through. What a move.
Oh no, Mick will do it.
Oh man. Make PK did what he could. I don't blame him for that. Oh! What a save.
JTK's pretty much might as well just not come back. It's game over for him. So now Merck's hopes rely on Mintuki somehow getting a 14-point gap on the two Ferraris.
JNT Gaming just going around the outside there of Red Fire Tiger and just dispatched him for 6th place in this race. So I think Red Fire Tiger would have wanted to fight that a little bit harder, but you know, if he fought that a bit harder, it could have ended in the same way Make PK and Dil JG almost did. But it does close up the two teammates. I want to say it was what, a 4-second gap maybe, or maybe originally it was a 4-second gap from the undercut that Dil JG was able to pull off, but it's just not working out now. Tadpole, the second McLaren driver to pick up a track limit penalty. This is not good for him, especially if they want to win that Constructors' Championship. We're past halfway in this race. Lap 15, Blue Goggy yet to pit, Mintoki yet to pit, and the same can be said for Make PK and SSR William. They're surely banking on a safety car. Which one blinks first?
They're going to, medium runners, are they going to stick it out till soft combo tires? Could be an interesting strategy. They're going to be very far behind, however, but that's what they're trying to do. JTK's AI chucked them on softs. So I think JTK was, I think as a sign, JTK was going to go long and go on softs. Obviously, because the game took control of his car and it's pitted him for those softs, so he was planning on putting on probably around lap 20. That's unfortunate. He was going to have a mighty strategy there in the race, and his incident yet again, for a 3rd time, has robbed him.
Oh, JNT Gaming hitting the back of Make PK right there at the hairpin. Hunted also getting through on Red Fire Tiger, but JNT Gaming is going to go the left side this time to try to get through and then switch it back to the right side here. He just can't get through on Make PK, who is really doing the wonders here for Mercedes, who seem to have no hope in this race left for a potential Constructors' Championship. You know that hope, though, that they're trying to hope for. It's closed up. Hunted, though. Hunted now in the back of JNT Gaming. This is quite the race, especially with how Hunted had a malfunction there at the start of the race, and he fell back. He's right there in the fight for 2nd place now. Mintoki in, SSR William in. They both have blunk, is that even a word? They both have blinked first.
William's gone for another set of mediums.
Ooh, that's not a good... No, he was on hards.
Sorry, my bad. He's on hard, sorry. Yeah.
Here comes JNT Gaming. He's going to now pressurize Make PK around the outside this time, and it's through. They're all ahead of Mintoki, SSR William, and Kippu, who all have recently pit. Oh, Hunted. Hunted. Wheel to wheel with Make PK in the S section. Make PK yet to pit. Hunted already has. Hunted through.
See what's Mintoki's gap to Dil JG, 8.6 to leader, 22, so 22 minus 8 is 16. 16 seconds behind Dil JG. Can she overcome a 16-second deficit in 11 laps? I doubt it, but we'll find out.
Could potentially overcome an 11-second deficit against JNT Gaming, but I don't know about Dil JG being the one to overcome that deficit from. Remember, Make PK and Red Fire Tiger ahead of Mintoki, still yet to pit in this race. Valkyrie, JTK, that's a swap in position for 10th place. Valkyrie, upper edge, goes to her, but that's because JTK, again, having connection issues, not back in the session. Blue Goggy, ducking to the pit lane, finally in. You got to get it below 50 miles per hour. He does just that, Into the pit lane he comes. Will it be for soft tires? It surely has to be. And it is. The gap he had to Mintoki was 21.5 seconds. So Mintoki might get the undercut here, but both these guys on fast, fresher tires. Bulgogi comes out just behind Mintoki, just off of DRS and ahead of teammate SSR William. And Make PK will be coming out behind Valkyrie and JTK. So out defending obviously costed him some places. I don't think that's a surprise, Eoin.
No, he's struggling now to root. And he's lost so much time because of it. Mintoki's now running into the back of Red Fire Tiger. And he's lower. What's he doing?
What is Red Fire Tiger doing here? What does he have going on? He's let both Red Bulls go, but is this the end of his race right here because he's not going at full blast? What is going on for Red Fire Tiger? He's got a puncture on the left front tire.
Is it a puncture? Is he not pitted?
He's gone way too long on those tires, trying to last it out for a safety car. And this does surprise me because the medium tires, they don't usually get a puncture until 15 to 18 laps, but that's only an estimate. Usually it is over that time period, but it's happened quite quickly for Red Fire Tiger, who seems to not been able to save quite the tires around the circuit. Now he's just trundling back to the pit lane and hope for a safety car, surely. And now I'll tell you the big winners, though, okay? Mintoki and Bulgogi, it's obvious they're the big winners, but this is the battle for P3 when they catch up to Hunted. These are the guys contending for the podium spot here. They have to stay within 3 seconds, and they really could get up to second place and battle it out amongst themselves if they get to JNT Gaming. But getting to them is one thing, passing it is another, and overtaking on the main straight, Bulgogi through SSR William there. He's going fast. He's just at the fastest lap. This could be a really good strategic masterclass from Red Bull, but too little, too late.
Even if they can't go Ferraris, it won't be enough to win a Constructor Championship. Only issue for Red Bull this season, they were doing really well at the start, and obviously you had the awful luck and awful perseverance from Grandpa, and then Bonky obviously just got screwed over a few times by the game in the qualifying sessions, by just retired him in qualifying. He had to start at the back.
I think this is the biggest team that it's the biggest what if for. Yeah. It's not McLaren, it's Red Bull.
Red Bull could have been a lot closer if they had
Grandpa, France, we called him a melon for retiring in the pit lane, but he was running 8th place and could have got a penalty appealed. Bonkers also had trouble that day, and that was the one race Red Bull didn't score points. Every team has scored points this season in this Constructors fight, except for Red Bull. And we know how much they really could have had this fight to Mercedes and Ferrari if a lot of things went their way. If. Big word.
Small word, big meaning.
Very true. Bulgogi is now going fast once again. He's set the fastest lap of this race. FBL has picked up a track limit penalty. He's running plumb last of our runners still left. But Bulgogi has got to try a ballsy overtake if he wants to get by Hunted and if he wants to get by quickly. He's caught Hunted, and as we said, catching's one thing, passing is another. Here comes Bulgogi. We're riding on board with him. Yeah. In the S section, you can just see how much he closes up to that McLaren. He's got quite a bit of overspeed, but he has to be careful with this overtake button down the inside, around the outside of the Degnas. Yeah, he's through! Bulgogi.
Not doing that.
Balls of steel.
He's 8 seconds behind the leader now. He was 11 a few laps ago. So it looks like he's gaining a pretty decent amount of time, but the question remains, will the softs last the distance?
Remember, Eoin, he was involved in a lap 1 crash at the back of the field. Wavy Knife not too happy. He said he still collides with me when he's in a Red Bull. Well, will he be investigated after this race? Time will tell. FBL is around heading to the pit lane here on the main straight. He's about to get lapped, but yeah, for Bulgogi's sake, he's done a really good recovery drive. The question is now, will he be able to pass JNT Gaming for 2nd place? He's going to catch him surely with the pace he's at. But like we said, catching's one thing, passing is another. And if he can get to the race lead, that's quite the accomplishment. He's got a 7-second gap to get there, though. Mintoki now on Hunted, though, for maybe 4th place here. 3rd place potentially later on. Here we go. Mintoki ahead now.
The one thing safety car right now would really throw this race on its head. Everyone with that pit for fresh sauce, and then it should be a pure battle to the end for everyone. But at the moment, I say the ball is in Blue Goggy and Mintoki's court. If they can manage these softs a long while, without worrying them too much and keeping the performance on them. So
FPL spun again, by the way. Won't be able to give DRS to his teammate. That would have been crucial. Maybe in this fight with Blue Goggy.
Goggy's now 6.8 seconds behind.
He is pushing like a lion, and he has to do so with 7 laps remaining if he wants to win his first ever RPL race. He's had two podiums this game cycle. Those are his only podiums this game cycle. But if you're talking about Tier 2 specifically, he's had quite the story in RPL. He's always been in bottom cars. The Alfa Romeo, the Haas, the Aston Martin as well last game. That was not a top 6 car. You also had a podium in a Haas in Saudi Arabia to start the Season 8 run that happened 4 seasons ago, and now he is chasing a second ever Tier 2 podium, but a 4th ever in terms of all tiers combined. Maybe a first win is on the cards. 3rd place in that race in Tier 2 many seasons ago at the end of the F122 game cycle, but now at the F123 game cycle coming to an end. Could today be the day? You said 6.8? Well, now it's 6.2. He's got to get these tires to the end, and as long as he manages this, I think he can pass JNT Gaming for sure. I think Dill JG is a big question mark, though. JTK is into the pit lane once again, and that's a heartbreaker from his AI, pitting him for a second time.
It's game over, like. Mercedes aren't going to win. That's just the fact that are we going to have Dill JG win? Has he won a race before? I don't think he has.
Nope. 4th place was his best result last week in China.
The first podium and first win, if he can. JNT, the championship winner, is getting closed in there, and he's going to get overtaken very easily.
Not a lot of people give Dill JG credit for this, but he's one of our only drivers who uses cockpit cam on a regular day-to-day basis on the F1 game. Not a lot of people can pull that off and still be fast, but Dill JG is really pulling it off. I always mention every race, the 20k subscribers he has to his YouTube channel. He's not posted in a while, but this is a win that is worth getting excited over and maybe posting over. Blue Goggy in DRS of JNT Gaming. This is super big for this race.
And so Dill JG is lapping in the mid-31s. Goggy's lapping in the low 30s, so he is getting a second a lap.
Remember, JNT Gaming picked up Blue Goggy earlier this season after he was let go from Red Bull Racing when it was Cryptic's team after the season ban. And when the season ban was lifted, JNT Gaming, the team principal of Ferrari, was the only one who believed in Blue Goggy to pick him up as a reserve. And JNT Gaming was the one who loaned him out today to Red Bull to prove himself. And Cookie allowed it. Cookie, the new team principal of Red Bull, gonna get him next season, but now getting him a race early, and it's interesting to see JNT Gaming fighting Blue Goggy in a car that Blue Goggy doesn't normally race, but that's a team principal you're up against now.
I mean, I am shocked at the performance Goggy's shown today. I always knew he was quick, but he's just dangerous.
Knew he had good pace.
I don't know if he's this good. Obviously, he's a Red Bull,
so
is he going to go for it? Oh my god, he's going to go for it.
Woo! At Spoon Curve, Blue Goggy is up into 2nd place in this race, and he's got 5 laps now to chase Dill JG with less than a 5-second gap. He gained a 2nd last lap, Eoin. He needs to gain 5 seconds a lap to win this race.
Yeah, he's obviously going to get held up here by JNT. JNT's going to go for his 8. He's going to try from the main stretch, surely, to try and help his team secure the win.
Yellow flags. That is for JTK's car. Is that for the Williams instead? That might be Mythic. Oh, Owen's lagged out. Eoin, what's happened to you? Eoin, is he connecting? He got disconnected. Eoin, here's an invite back. I see that. 4.6, 4.5 now. 4.2 between Dill JJ. Oh, this gap is getting quite spicy now with just a little bit remaining. I want to take the time. Oh no. Find out if that's gonna end up being true. Hunted with yet another penalty. All right. Yeah, because you did get disconnected in the game and the party. 4.5 the gap between Blue Goggy and Dill JG. Has he wasted his tires trying to get to JNT Gaming here? And Vade says Dill JG will have my kids after that move. Well, that move happened quite a bit ago, but I want to remind you, Twitch chat, there's 17 of you watching. Let us know your predictions for the final few laps. Right now, it's in Ferrari's way to go get the Constructors' title. But as for the race itself, it's looking like Dill JG has it in his hands. And JNT Gaming getting towed along. Mintoki not really gaining a lot of progress here in the Mercedes. This is going to be very interesting. 4 laps to go, 4.3 the gap. And by the way, it's also something else we should mention. F1 Tier 1 in Brazil next race of this game cycle. Last race of this game cycle. That is going to be tomorrow. Owen, where are you on my list? Oh, you're on my favorites. That's why I couldn't find you. And our next race for Tier 2 will be on the F1 24 game cycle for future reference, but Brazil for F1 is the last race of the game cycle in Tier 1 tomorrow, Saturday, 3 Eastern, 8 UK.
Doggy's lap times have,
welcome back.
have deteriorated quite heavily here. This is upsetting. So, first sector, Goggy was just a 10th quicker. Barely half a 10th quicker. Then Dylan, JG. Second sector.
I really think Blue Goggy is taking it a little conservative though here because he knows he's got a podium place. He just can't bend it, but now he also sees the win right in front of him. It's tough as a driver. Do you go for that or do you not go for it? Let's check the last laps they do when they cross the line. We still have battles. SSR William trying to get Hunted on track. He has the penalty, Hunted to spare. And Valkyrie and Make PK 8th and 9th up for grabs. Alright, 31-3 from Dill JG. Blue Goggy 31-1, so only a 2/10 deficit.
Yeah,
interesting.
Not gonna. He's the saucer 2-1 now at this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's going to be a podium finish for Blue Goggy as things stand here.
Valiant
and
effort.
Ferrari will also get the Constructors' Championship for the second ever time too.
A very valiant effort from Mr. Goggy in his first race at Red Bull. Obviously, could things have been different if JTK did get robbed and Mintoki did get taken out in the first lap? We will never know.
Oh, we have contact. 8th place up for grabs. Make PK excels and is through for that position over Valkyrie. Mythic running in a quiet P11 here. Let's talk about some drivers outside the points as we got an opportunity to do so. No one overtaking right now. Mythic, 11th. He's had 2 top 10 finishes this season for Williams. It's not been the best of seasons, but when he's had some races that have got chaotic, he's the one who's pulled off good finishes. Red Fire Tiger, battling for P6 in the championship. Called it to Red Bull for a few weeks in the season, but now this one is going to be his worst finish of the season. 13th. He's not finished below 11th place. And FBL making his return to RPL. Low on fuel. Maybe expecting a safety car or a VSC. We didn't get one today so far, and we're not going to get one at all. But as for FBL, it's good to see him return. And maybe he'll be back here for a Tier 3 when RPL does create that next game. DRS now in play for 3rd place man JNT Gaming, who's trying to get Blue Goggy. He sees his tires are starting to wear out, and Blue Goggy has been overtaken for 2nd place. Now, will Blue Goggy just absolutely dump all that battery on the final lap?
He's not got much left of it. He's just got to stay with JNT. Which he's going to struggle to do with these the tire differential.
We've also not talked about Dill JG a lot. What a performance from him. Never been on the RPL podium. Standout performances in that for Alfa Romeo, in the Ferrari Academy. Prior to this is why he's got called up to Ferrari in the final 2 races in order to decide this constructors fight with a 1-2 they're currently having right now. This game cycle's provided quite a bit, Owen. I mean, we've had a lot of wins from you. We've had Some wins from Bonkers, not enough from a championship. Same thing could be said with George. Hunted, a first-time champion. J&T Gaming, a first-time champion. And in terms of our first-time winners throughout Tier 2 this game cycle, we've had a total of 11 different drivers get their first Tier 2 victory in this game cycle. Dill JG trying to become the 12th here with 1 lap to go. This time by Blue Goggy, J&T Gaming. DRS now on the main straight. This time by.
Here we go.
J&T Gaming. He has it. Blue Goggy wants it. Blue Goggy re-overtakes him for second place and is through. 4.2 the gap. Remember, Dill JG put out a lap earlier. His tires will start to finally fall off a cliff now. But we saw with Red Fire Tiger's puncture that happened earlier on, anything is possible. I'd think if a puncture happens for anybody, it'd be more toward Hunted. But even with these hard tires, I still doubt it. What a performance from Ferrari today with a 1-3. They came out banging.
It's been on all day, to be fair. The only reason J&T is not P2 is because of this good strategy by Goggy. And LJG has just been quick the whole race.
If J&T Gaming gets a podium to end off tonight, he will have the best percentage in a single season by a driver for the amount of podiums he will have, and also beat a old record that Jack Miles had of 9 podiums in a single season, with 9 podiums from Season 1 and Season 3 in a single season, and Tadpole in Season 7 with 9 podiums. Here comes J&T Gaming, one last effort.
Syria, what a disastrous exit for Spoon for Goggy. He's going to have to absolutely send it here into into the chicane. He's going to have to just go for it. And he's
not going to do it. Ferrari will win the Constructors' Championship, but for the first time ever, Dill JG is an RPL Grand Prix winner!
Hooray.
And a fight to the line!
Oh!
J&T Gaming and Blue Goggy, drag race! J&T Gaming salvages the 1-2 to get them the Constructors' Championship under his name for the first time. It's a second Constructors title for Ferrari, and Blue Goggy returns to the RPL podium for the first time in Tier 2 in 4 seasons waiting. His first race in a top car was one that was worth the wait. Blue Goggy gets to prove himself tonight in Japan. Photo finish! Bang into the line! 20,000s to decide it with Make PK and Valkyrie. Mintoki was 4th, William was 5th, Hunted was 6th, Tadpole, then Make PK, Valkyrie, and Kippu rounding out the last point spot. Ferrari, it may have not been perfect this season from them. They won the Drivers' Championship. They've now won the Constructors' Championship with it. But with a rebranded team that has seen a lot of things happen throughout the last few seasons, a change in ownership that was questioned very, very bigly throughout the paddock. It saw, even in the Tier 1 side of things, 4 Academy cars DNF in one race at Monaco. And then J&T Gaming got his chance to take ownership of the Academy. And in his first full season with the ownership, new driver changes, new drivers as a whole, and a new restructured team has allowed them to take the Constructors' Championship for the second time. Mercedes, I think, will finish off second place in the Constructors' Championship, just barely over Red Bull, with Mintoki's 4th place. But Red Bull claim another podium on the season with Blue Goggy. In 3rd place, William, just shy of a good result with his teammate. Maybe being P4, but being P5 instead. Here are your podium celebrations. 2 new podium sitters on the season. 1 new podium sitter for the first ever time. And a brand new race winner, Dill JG, sprays the champagne. I think that's the first 1-2 we've had this season. Is that correct, Eoin?
I don't know, mate. Let me check my my database.
Oh, they spray the champagne as well. Blue Goggy gets to be up there for the first time since he was in a Haas, and since the F2 days as well, earlier in the game cycle. Blue Goggy, bravo, man. Bravo. Fastest lap as well. Here are your final results from the final time on F123 in Tier 2. We'll catch you guys on F124 if you're clicking off now. But if you're not clicking off now...
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
I was just going to say, if you're not clicking off now, just remember that we have F1 Tier 1 tomorrow in Brazil.
That was the first 1-2 of the season. On the la.
And that was quite the timing to do it. Your final results, we only lost 2 from this race. FBL went 11 down. Red Fire Tiger, Mythic, JTK, they were the ones outside the points. Both Alpines in the points for the final time this season. Eoin, we had with one last race in Tier 2 to wrap things up. Who are you giving Driver of the Day to?
The fans. No.
Whoa.
Probably LJG for the just dominant performance. And obviously Goggy with a pretty good recovery drive after getting knocked down a few positions at the start. And I would say that, yeah. And then Make for putting up a stellar defense. Trying to, as a last hope, trying to help the Mercedes Academy. Obviously, did not come to any benefit. But
yeah, it wasn't a lot of hope from them, but you're right. I agree with you on that. By the way, I just want to mention for Tier 2, because the amount of PC drivers we've had come into this league, you know it, Eoin, it's been quite a bit coming to here, and they either end up dominating, get on the podium, they're in top cars, whatever it may be. I think that's the first entire Xbox podium of the season. It is. You had JNT Gaming on Xbox, DiltJG on Xbox, and Blue Goggy on Xbox make up the top 3 spots in this race. Yeah, Driver of the Day contenders, I don't even think there's a third one. I just think it's 2 guys right there. And it's, I mean, yeah, I get your point about Make BK. I agree with that, by the way. But I think it's Blue Goggy and DiltJG. And you could see Wavy Knife not too happy with Blue Goggy from whatever happened on their little skirmish at the start of this race. And yeah, we appreciate every single one of you who came here for RPL and F123. Oh, and this is where I started here at Japan just 3 seasons ago, commentating at the very start of this game cycle. And it's been quite the game cycle in terms of growth for RPL. We can only hope for F124. They fix the handling model. They fix any glitches. They fix whatever is wrong with the game, because there's quite a bit wrong with the game. Therefore, our drivers stay committed, and RPL continues to grow the way it has.
Yes, I'm just ensuring that they do a little cheeky patch in the first week or so to fix the discussing handling, or we're going to be having a league where everyone will be full lock into each corner to get that rotation.
That's a little scary.
Funny.
It would be funny, but all for the wrong reasons. Well, Tier 2 in Japan is in the history books, and it was in Ferrari's favor for the Constructors title for a second time. They won the Constructors Championship in Season 10 when they couldn't win the Drivers, but they've got both the Drivers and the Constructors this time. With that finish from Tadpole, I believe he ends up P3 in the championship over Hunted and Mintoki. Not a bad effort from Tadpole. I think Tadpole is another one really starting to come of age. Owen, it's going to be interesting as we go to next game and next season as well. He's going to be in the Ferrari alongside, I believe, DiltJG. This should be an interesting fight between them two.
Actually, will be quite interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing. Let me actually check what the lineups are. I think they've been posted somewhere. Obviously, in lineups, I would assume. Yeah. Here too, yeah, you've got DiltJG and Tadpole. Very good lineup that'll be. The Red Bull has got Ardell and JTK.
I think that'll be fixed. I think I forgot William was in recarb with Goggy, but you're right. I think that'll be fixed because I think, based on rumor cookies, getting rid of not JTK, he's getting rid of Ardell possibly.
And then the Mercedes is Wavy for some reason. And Mintoki, I don't know why Wavy's been put into the Merc. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why Red Fire Tiger wouldn't be given it when he's clearly a better driver. He'll move.
Hey, Red Fire Tiger going back to the Mercedes Academy. We have a lot of storylines ahead of next season, but only time will tell what happens, folks. Our final time in Tier 2 on F123 is in the history books. If you want to catch the action, we're going to be in Tier 1 Brazil tomorrow for one final time on F123. Until next time for Tier 2 on F124, this is the end of an era. We're signing off. Ryan Searles, Eoin McMoran. We'll catch you next time, and we'll also catch you for Tier 1 Brazil tomorrow if you want to tune into the action. Have a good night, folks. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We're sad to let you go, but we'll see you then.